Hey everyone, Mike here, Mike's House of Mods, and we are winding down 2021, getting ready to get into 2022. And I thought today would be a great opportunity to let you guys know what I have in store for my Sky for 2022. Got some changes I'm going to be making, got some fixes I'm going to be doing, and I got some new modifications that I'm going to be adding as well. So this video, I'm going to be talking about what I plan on doing, and hopefully I can get them all done this year, or actually next year, 2022. For the springtime, and it's going to be looking good, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys how it's done. First up is going to be kind of fixing what I've done to the car, and I'll tell you why I did it and how I'm going to make it back to stock again. And it has to do with this piece right here. So if you ever heard somebody say our cars are bottom breathers, well, this kind of helps that bottom breathing happen. And this piece goes underneath the front fascia here, and it scoops up the air and throws it in towards the radiator and into the engine. And what I had to do is I had to take this off whenever I installed my turbo, because the way the charge pipes go down, it just didn't fit. So I'll show you what I did in replace of that. Is I actually, let me see if I can get down there. I don't know if it's really hard to see, but I basically took a piece of roofing membrane called TPO, and I kind of taped it and kind of had it scooping up instead of using this whole contraption here. So that has worked out very well for me for the last couple of years. I've had to change the tape out in the front a few times just because it gets old, and or with autocross it gets hit by a cone or whatever. But for the most part, it's actually pretty much did the exact same thing as this does. Maybe not as good, but does the exact same thing as that does. And it was kind of an emergency situation. But so what I want to do is I'm going to go in this year, modify this so it works with the charge pipes inside, and let me go and show you what I mean. Now, unlike the GPX or the Redline 2.0 engine or some of the kits for the 2.4, they actually have their charge pipes going down and then kind of into the intercooler from the side, or going horizontally. Mine actually go down and go straight down into the intercooler from the top. So because these pipes are going way down there, the piece that I just showed you didn't fit. So what I need to do is make some modifications around these pipes to make that fit going up into there. So hopefully that's something I'm going to be able to do. Now, along with that, I also have this piece to put back on, and this one goes down and kind of on the top here, and it pretty much keeps the air flowing right into the radiator instead of having it go up into the engine bay and everywhere else. And again, the charge pipes were in the way for that. So what I have instead is another piece of membrane, and this is it right here that I kind of created. So I have it kind of doing the same shape as the original one, and actually it's worked out really well. And again, kind of forces that air into the radiator and the intercooler a little bit. It's worked out well. It's been on there for a couple of years, and not that I couldn't just leave it there, but I just want to try to make it back to the original equipment as much as I can. All right, and speaking of the charge pipes and those types of things, the other thing I have to do is this is a little bit too tall, and as you can see, I kind of have some tape on it here because it hits up onto this piece here, and I actually kind of put a piece of padding up there so it doesn't bang up against the metal of the hood. I have that there, and like I said, I have this protecting the pipe there. But what I need to do is just kind of shave off a little bit of the pipe down below so it sinks down in to the intercooler a little bit further, makes this a little bit shorter to get rid of that problem, which should be pretty easy. And while I have this charge pipe out, and I'll probably take the other one out also, I'm going to go ahead and just repaint those just to freshen them up a little bit. All right, now getting away from the engine bay, we'll look back here at this wind restrictor, which I really like. Unfortunately though, the remote control got wet, and I'm not able to change this. I can't turn it off. I can't change the colors or do anything like that. Luckily it's stuck on yellow. If it was stuck on blue, I'd be in trouble. I'd have to disconnect the whole thing because you're not allowed to have blue showing as you're driving around. But I do have another control module, and I have another brand new remote that came with that. Then I'm going to change this up, which is going to be a pretty easy fix. I just got to do it. And that's basically taking the the control module out of the trunk and just rewiring to that one instead. And the way these remotes and these control modules work, each remote is specific to a control module. So it wasn't like I just go and get another remote and be done with it. Nope, of course I had to do the whole thing. So it's nothing against the wind restrictor product. It was just because for whatever reason that remote got wet and it quit working. All right, so one of the other issues I've been having as we work our way towards the back is on the passenger side. I was having some leaking going on. Anytime there was any kind of a rain or heavy rain, heck, even a light rain, it would leak in there. And I believe the problem is when I installed the wing, it's probably leaking in one of the holes. So I guess I didn't put enough silicone or something going around the holes that once I installed it, so water's kind of getting in through there. It's not a lot, it's just enough to annoy the crap out of me. So one of the changes I'm going to be making should take care of that, but that is definitely something that I need to fix for next year, because I don't want to be dealing with that anymore. Okay, so that pretty much takes care of everything that I either have to put back to stock or fix. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what changes I'm going to be making to the interior now. All right, so I'm going to be changing the steering wheel, and this one here is actually from a GXP. The original stock one was kind of coming apart a little bit, so I went and I ordered, actually I purchased one which was a GXP. Changed that out a few years ago, but now it's time to upgrade to a really nice one. And there's a guy on eBay, I'll put a link in the description below. It's got an eBay that's selling the really nice ones for the Corvette Z06, and it has the flat bottom and it has the nice grip on the sides, and they actually have an option for going carbon fiber on the top and on the bottom. But I opted just for the leather, just because I don't really have any carbon fiber in here, and I'm looking forward to getting that thing installed. The other thing is, right now, like, I have my phone on this little magnet holder kind of deal, and my phone is actually hooked up to play the Android Auto on the my head unit, and I have to use this wire here that's coming out from below there, and it's kind of annoying because it hangs there, and when I'm doing autocross I can't have my phone there, so I gotta kind of tie this up, and anyway, it's really annoying. So what I want to do is purchase one of those things that's a USB port to the USB outlet or whatever, or male version or male part, and then plug it into my head unit, so it'll be almost like a stock thing where it'll just be a port that I can put right here, just like if you're plugging in your phone to charge it, but I'll be able to plug my phone in to hook up to the Android Auto instead, and when I'm done with it I can just pull that wire out and it's just going to be the little port thing. So kind of excited about that. That's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but everything usually is. And I also want to switch out the 12 volt adapter, or the 12 volt plug here, also to USB chargers. So what I want to do is take this out, add the a lot of times I'll have the 2 ports, so you can plug 2 iPhones or Androids or whatever in there to charge them. So that is another thing that I'm going to be planning on doing. And then my piping here, it was nice and bright and red, but now with the car being out in the sun with the top down, it's kind of faded and almost looks pink now, which is not what I want. So I'm going to be changing out all of the piping, put new piping in there instead, kind of refreshing that up there, and also on the doors. And it's going to look a lot better being bright like that. Now the seats, again, I'm going to keep with the red and black, but I'm going to see if I can get actual new seats, like either racing seats or something else, and replace these ones. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet or not. I might just go ahead and get new seat covers, because I'll show you in a second here, the driver's side is a little bit worn down from me sitting my big old butt on there and racing and everything else and all the driving that I've been doing. So I do want to replace these. Just kind of going back and forth on whether I want to replace them with new ones, new actual seats. And the thing that's kind of holding me back, actually there's 2 things that's holding me back. One is you have to order them online, so you don't really get a chance to sit on them to see if they're comfortable or not, which is kind of annoying. But number 2, and more importantly, I have to transfer the airbag sensor from this seat to the new seat, and I've seen different ways to do that, but it seems like the way to really do it right is to take the cover off the new seat, put the seat sensor in there, the airbag sensor in there, and then put the cover back on again. It's kind of intimidating. It's a brand new seat you just purchased, and now you're all of a sudden taking it apart, and I'm not sure if I'd be able to have the skills or the strength or anything to put it back to the nice tight factory fit that the original seat had, and then to do all that and make sure it still works at the same time. That's a little intimidating, but who knows? I mean, heck, maybe I could even take it to an upholsterer or something like that if I do go that route. But if you guys have any suggestions as far as changing the seats and what to do about that airbag sensor, please put them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Hey, let me take a quick break and let you know that we started a new Facebook group called Kappa Mods, and I will put a link below to that Facebook group. If you're interested in modifying your car, your Sky, Solstice, Opel GT, or Daewoo, go ahead and join that Facebook group. We basically talk about modifications, how to modify your car, get suggestions on products, and ask questions and get answers. So be sure to check out that group. A couple of other things I like to do is custom gauges. As you can see, if you have a Sky, you'll see how dark these things are in the daytime. Now it's obviously inside, so it's even darker. But these are very difficult to read in the daytime, and even when the lights are on and they're lit up, even the orange, I really don't like that orange color anyway. Let me see if I can, what I do with my keys here, put those on. And there they are, they're orange, which, you know, that's pretty much as bright as they get. That's turned all the way up, but not that exciting and pretty boring actually. So they're hard to read, they're pretty boring. So what I'm going to do is switch those out to probably some of the, I think it's called Black Cat custom gauges, and I'm not sure, you can actually design your own. I'm not sure if we're going to go that route or not, or just take one of their standard ones, but I'm going to definitely brighten those up with the white background. And then you can also swap out that ugly orange to like a nice white LED instead. So those should be nice and bright for the gauges. The pain in the butt about that is I believe you're going to take the whole top of the dash off. So that is something I'm definitely not looking forward to, especially since I haven't seen any instructions on how to do that online. So I'm going to have to figure that out on my own. But that's going to be a mod that I definitely want to do, and hopefully get that sucker done for next year. All right, so now that I'm not sitting on them anymore, let me show you the seat covers. As you can see, they're kind of wearing out on the different seam areas, and then down here, mainly, I think a lot of this has to do with because of my my comb that I have in my back pocket. Probably wears that out specifically there, because that's kind of where my comb is when I'm driving. So definitely going to be changing these out, and like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to change the whole seats or just the seat covers themselves or not. So that's pretty much it for the interior. Everything else I think is doing very well. Okay, now as far as the trunk, I saw somebody online on a Facebook group, and I can't remember who it was, but they had a really cool mod where they took an LED strip, put it all underneath here, and it completely lit up the trunk whenever you opened it up. I thought that was really cool, because that little dinky light there, when it's dark out, it really doesn't light up the trunk all that much. But whenever you had those LED strips underneath there, lit it up very well. I thought that was neat, so I'm going to try to steal that idea from them. Okay, I know I switched out the calipers and the brake pads and everything last year, but I do want to, I'm going to keep the same calipers, they work fine, but I do want to swap out my brake pads once again. Because I do autocross, I need something that has a little more bite, a little more grip whenever I'm slamming on the brakes. These ones, they're fine, they're great for everyday, even spirited driving, they work perfectly fine. They do work better when they're heated up, and I'm assuming most brakes are that way. But these ones, you really got to heat them up to get them to bite. And even then, they really don't bite as much as I like. So if you guys have any suggestions, please put in the comments below. If you do any kind of autocrossing, let me know what kind of brakes you use or which ones you like. The thing I'm trying to avoid, I know the really good ones that bite really well, also are very squealy, they're very dusty, and so there's that kind of side effect. And I do ride this around, and I don't want to have that mess going on. So I'd like to get a kind of a nice compromise, something that has a good bite, but it doesn't make everything all dirty, dusty, even though that's not that big of a deal. But I'm more worried about the squeal, because I've had brakes that squealed. It's really annoying, people looking at you like you're an idiot kind of thing. So don't want that going on. So like I said, if you know got some brake suggestions for racing or for autocross, please put them in the comments below. I'd appreciate that. Okay, once again, my headlights are fogging up. I mean, I've done this, I don't want to say a bunch of times, at least twice I think. I've sanded them down, and I put the UV protection on them, and they go back to this again. So apparently I didn't either sand them down enough or didn't put enough UV protection on them. So I'm going to do this one more time, kind of clear these things up again. It's not that hard to do. I just maybe was rushing it a little bit. And I was going to, one of the things I was kind of thinking about doing is getting those sequential light turn signals, the daytime running light turn signals, putting them on the inside, which I thought, oh, that'd be kind of cool, be on the inside, make it look real modern. But then as I was reading different reviews and things like that, even the expensive ones, the ones on eBay, $20, everyone's happy with them. But if I'm going to put them inside, I don't want them to burn out like in a year, because then I have to you know, unglue all of this and do the whole thing to get them out of there to replace them. So I'm kind of on the fence of whether I want to do that or not. And I've even heard, like, even the expensive ones, you know, I've seen reviews where, hey, they work great for 6 months and then boom, one of them quits working, or one side quits working. And like I said, I don't need that mess as far as that. No, I know there was one guy that had a Sky. He just kind of mounted them on the outside somehow. But the way our hoods open up, the light kind of goes with it. So I'm not sure if he just mounted it like right on the bumper here and they stayed there, or where he put it, because there's not a whole lot of room to put those under there. So, or maybe he just put it right on the lens itself. And I might reach out to see exactly where he put those. So I think that'd be kind of cool. That's kind of when I'm on the fence with whether I'm going to do it or not. So we'll see what happens there. And then last but not least, and here it is, the black with the red stripe. I really like this look. I think it's really cool. It is Plastidip, so I can easily peel that off. So I have a couple of things that I may do. So I can either stick with this design, which I think is cool, but I'm just going to wrap it with vinyl wrap instead of using the Plastidip. So so I'd wrap this and still continue with the red. Almost look identical to this. It just wouldn't be Plastidip because this Plastidip is kind of wearing down a little bit and it's losing its excitement. So like I said, do that, or a couple of other designs, and you can let me know what you think in the comments below. If you think that should I stick with this kind of same design, or do a couple of the ones that I'm posting right here on this video. But that's going to be pretty exciting, and I've never done a plastic wrap before. So if you have any suggestions on, I know there's like Vivid is one. There's a couple other ones out there, but if you guys have done plastic or vinyl wrap on your car, let me know what you think is good for a beginner, because I don't want some professional grade thing that I can't do. So something that's decent for a beginner, can do a hood, can do a trunk, and get away with ease of use. That's kind of like what I'm looking for, ease of use. So anyway, like I said, put in the comments below what you think, and I would appreciate that. All right, so there you have it. That's what I plan on doing for 2022. Some of those modifications and changes are going to be a little difficult, a little challenging, but who doesn't mind a challenge now and then. But it's something I'm going to be doing over the winter time, and hopefully get all of them done this spring. And so you can watch me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you can see all the videos that I'm doing as I'm doing these modifications. There's kind of be nothing in any particular order. Just as I get parts in, I'm going to go ahead and do the mods. So again, be sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell, because then that way you're going to know every time I come up with a new video, it'll tell you. So anyway, that's it for this video. I appreciate you watching, and have a great New Year's.